You look down on me, you pity me. Walk away, that's right, Howard. You know why I didn't take the job? Because it's too small. I don't care about it. It's nothing to me. It's a bacterium. I travel in worlds you can't even imagine. You can't conceive of what I'm capable of. I'm so far beyond you. I'm like a god in human clothing. Lightning bolts shoot from my fingertips.
Hey guys, back at you with another response video. In today's video, we're gonna cover a guy called Thunderstruck. He made a video response to mine on Big Country, and I decided I would go through it with a bingo card that I made. I made this bingo card because I think I can predict a lot of the responses he's going to give. In case you weren't aware, he made a video about me in the past defending a certain someone that shall not be named. If I get 4 in a row, I will get a bingo. Without further ado, let's get right into the video.
He does shit way worse than Vincent Martin. Last time, he made a video on Nier saying that he was a AAA shill, and then when Nier called him out, he raided his stream and Kim Josh-un's stream. Well, now, G-Coops has taken his raiding game over to Discord, and specifically the server of Big Country, where he and his cronies posted a bunch of shit. And I mean literal shit. Alongside things like gore, beheading videos, and every disgusting genre of pornography you can think of.
What you stated is a half-truth. Half-truth is a common strategy that liars will go for to make a lie sound more credible than it actually is. More commonly seen in politics. The Discord rating part is accurate. Me posting scat, gore, nudity is not accurate at all. I was merely spectating all of it, while my viewers were doing the trolling. You know, doing the work. In case you weren't here for earlier, I criticized a shill in one of my earlier videos, as well as making a follow-up where I briefly criticized someone by the name of Big Country.
The video that you show is literally about Nier and Super Smash 97. Big Country has nothing to do with that.
Oh boy, what a great start. You took a glimpse at the thumbnail of my older video, and only that, then assumed that Big Country was never once referenced in that video, even though at the very beginning of that video, it contains a screenshot of his comment where he accuses me of saying racy things to the VTuber about Indians. Good job on getting that shit wrong at the very start of your video. You're doing an excellent job at humiliating yourself. Must be a fetish of yours. I'm definitely marking this on my bingo card right now. Big Country goes by a couple of aliases, such as Comrade Tree, Hassan, not to be confused with the real Hassan Piker.
My guy, he literally made that his nickname on Discord because the guy he is responding to, Revenant Remnant, literally thought that Big Country was Hassan Piker.
I'm fully aware that he made that as a joke. I brought it up in case one of Remnant's fans were watching my video, since they probably think he's Hassan Piker as well. Fans usually mirror a similar, if not identical, viewpoint on something that the YouTuber does. A lack of evidence to claim that Starfield is woke. My approach to the Starfield pronoun shit is just to chuckle at how stupid it is for them to have a they/them pronouns and move on, since it isn't really worth making a video about, nor is it worth calling it woke.
But when Big Country does the exact same thing, you have a massive Spurg session in this video because... why exactly?
If you call an option to change a few words in a piece of text, and only that, quote-unquote, extra content, then you're fucking retarded. Plain and simple.
My guy, his point was that the whole Starfield pronoun shit was harmless because it literally just exists as an extra customization option that you can pick if you want to, but if you don't want to pick it, you don't have to. Maybe saying that it's extra content might be stretching it a bit, but it is extra customization. It only gives you more ways that you can experience the game. But if you don't like those extra options, you do not have to play with them. That's literally what Big Country was getting at.
I get the point he's making, and I don't have an issue with that specifically. It's what he refers to as extra content that is the issue. A piece of text is just that, a piece of text. This is a nothing burg of a point you brought up. Might get a 4 in a row at this rate. complaining about someone bitching about first world problems while you yourself make sob stories about first world problems? Ironic.
Now, I don't really feel like reading aloud that entire old-ass, now-deleted community post because it's literally a giant false equivalence. G-Coops is really out here trying to equate people spurging the fuck out over an optional customization option in a video game to somebody having mental health issues because of drinking problems, his workplace getting shot up, losing a friend, and a bunch of other shit. This is some really disingenuous shit.
You're using a term without understanding the actual meaning of it. It's not disingenuous, nor is it a false equivalency. For something to be a false equivalency, the comparison would have to have more differences than there are similarities. All of the things you just brought up about the deleted post is first world problems. So he doesn't have a ground to stand on to criticize Remnant for quote-unquote bitching about first world problems. The only difference is that the first world problems that Remnant brought up was in a video game. It's a piece of text. So why do you call it quote-unquote extra content when it's not? It's literally just a piece of text that does not alter the gameplay nor the story.
I mean, it literally affects the character that you create, which obviously your character has an effect on the story, so yeah.
The question isn't if the character affects the story. The question is if the gender chosen for the character does. From what I currently know, the gender does not change anything other than a few words on the screen. So no gameplay changes, nor story changes to my knowledge. I could be wrong on this though. I don't own the game. Unlike you fuckers, I can actually acknowledge that I can be wrong on something. Meanwhile, you guys continue to dig yourself a deeper hole. The hole you dug is so deep that you almost reached the other side of the fucking planet and ended up in China. Speaking of China, he's going to cover the labor work in China later on this video, so stay tuned for that.
Now, like I said earlier, saying that its content might be giving it a bit too much credit, but the thing is, that wasn't even his overall point. His point was that it was an optional customization option that you do not have to engage with if you don't want to. Therefore, if you don't want to have to interact with the pronoun shit, then you can simply elect not to. I really have no idea how you managed to misunderstand his point a second fucking time.
There's no misunderstanding here. Again, I understand his point. It's just when a retard flails his arms around right in front of me while making absurd statements, it eventually gets my attention. Oh, and it's called criticism. You two should know by now what criticism is, since you do criticize a lot of people on YouTube. You two really love to dish out criticism to others, but when it comes to receiving it, you both lose your shit over it. You go absolutely ballistic over it. Funny how that works. It's as simple as this. Don't start shit and then cry when you get hit, retards. He does take it way too seriously, but you do also take some trivial shit too seriously as well. Like the time I raided your Discord server and you got so fucking butthurt to the point where you condone doxing, you fucking moron.
And that's another one to add to the counter of false equivalences.
Here we go again, using a word he just heard me use and decides to use it without knowing what it actually means. Jesus Christ. Let me lay this onto you. This is a brilliant strategy you're using. You learned very well from your sissy stepfather.
My guy, you and your cronies, or maybe they were bots and alts, I don't fucking know. But they spammed the fuck out of his server with a bunch of vile shit like I explained at the beginning of this video. That shit is nowhere near as trivial as a fucking customization option in a video game.
You keep neglecting, conveniently might I add, the part where he condones doxing over trivial shit. No pun intended. I would say it's just as trivial and that his reaction to something that trivial was as nuclear as the reaction the crybabies had about the pronoun stuff in Starfield. Like, holy shit, calm the fuck down. It's not so serious that you have to take it to that level.
It was a misinput, calm down! You calm the fuck down!
As for the whole condoning doxing thing, motherfucker, you were the one that doxed your own face, you dumbass.
I doxed my... what? The fuck are you on about? You must be confusing me for Seth. You know, the face that was shown in Krillic's thumbnail, that was of Seth apparently, which I'm not going to show here for obvious reasons.
And considering all the shit that you've pulled, yeah, you do fucking deserve it.
Get what you fucking deserve!
Great. Got another one to the bingo card. The part where it says condoning doxing, check. You guys are insanely predictable, by the way. Just saying. Keep digging that hole of yours. You're making Griffin Gaming of all people look rational in comparison to the shit you're saying right now. Then again, you are a worse clone of him, so that's not a surprise to anyone.
Mission failed. We'll get 'em next time.
I love how he tries to make a point with a like to dislike ratio, but he has the image glowing so fucking much that you can't even read the counter.
You can see the like to dislike ratio bar just fine. And I showed an image earlier in my video where it displayed the numbers very clearly. Luckily, I added nitpicking, the editing in my video into my bingo, so I'm gonna mark that one right now. Check. They haven't been in a decline, nor are they the golden boys. Their games as a whole just suck because they use an outdated engine. Their games containing greedy business practices are the worst, obviously.
Holy shit, this dude's literally pulling a page out of Tim Hansen's book by bringing the game engine into a discussion where it really doesn't belong. Well, besides maybe the graphics and optimization, because the engine actually does handle those, but things like the gameplay and story have fuck all to do with the engine itself.
Game engine's quality doesn't belong in the topic of a game's quality? It seems like you're struggling with this. Can you use your thinking thoughts for a second? Can you use your brain a little bit, just for a few seconds maybe? I hope that's not a big ask.
And if anything, Bethesda's been on the rise because Fallout 4 was their best-selling first-person RPG until Starfield released, which I'm not 100% sure what the sales figures were at, but considering that they had 10 million players within like the first week or two of launch, yeah, that's pretty fucking successful. Meanwhile, the games themselves were received well by fans of Bethesda RPGs. Now, obviously they're not for everybody, but for the target demographic, yeah, these games are fucking good.
Good sales does not equal a good game. I hope you realize that. Also, just because a game is perceived good by the majority does not mean that the game is good necessarily as the majority says it is. Also, before you say, but that's not what I said, it's clearly what the implication is. I didn't add appeal to majority fallacy into my bingo card, unfortunately. Would have been perfect for this moment.
Meanwhile, if you want to talk about shit like anti-consumer practices, could you please bring up examples?
I am not in the slightest surprised that you don't care about morals in how a product is made, considering how you defended greedy business practices in the past, like the clown shield you are.
Of course, morality does not play a role in the products you buy, because if it did, then you would not have bought the computer and all the electronic equipment necessary to make this video, because it's manufactured with slave labor in China. If you were to take a moral stance on literally every single thing that you bought, then you would not be able to buy much, if at all.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. God have mercy on your soul.
Ah, great. Even more brain-dead positions. I predicted this in my bingo card. I'm guessing the lightning that struck your head fried your brain in the process, and that's how you came to this conclusion. Now, Thunderstruck is also using the child labor argument, but the word child is replaced with the word slave. It's unreasonable to claim that people are inconsistent in their morality about how a product is made, and I stated why it's unreasonable in the video you're responding to.
When the consoles you're playing these games on, or the computer you're making this dog shit video on, was only possible thanks to the child labor that made them. The only thing that matters is how much quality it has, in my subjective opinion, and literally nothing else.
Uh-oh. Looks like this person has been infected with shit idiot brain fungus.
And I've got to say, in all honesty, it's the biggest piece of dog shit that I have ever heard.
Wow, that meme was so funny that I literally forgot to laugh.
Nah, you forgot to laugh because dementia. Jokes aside, the joke isn't funny to you because you're the punchline. So, cry about it.
You saying that's a stupid argument is pure projection. The child labor argument is fucking stupid because it's a false equivalency. The same thing being something that you call out irreverent remnant in the video we're doing earlier. Ironically, it isn't taken into account that consumers don't know all the time when they buy product whether or not how it was made or who it harmed in making of said product. It's not always even known by the people who own the products and how these are made. One thing is buried by a lot of stuff, the other one isn't. Imagine, unironically using the wash child labor argument to try to debunk someone and fail this miserably. I would be very embarrassed if I were you in this situation. Just saying.
My guy, you have to either be under the age of 5 or living a very sheltered life to not know that fucking China uses slave labor to manufacture their shit.
You're not getting it. Not every computer part is made from child labor. This includes slave labor. There's a percentage of a company's product that gets made from child labor, and depending on the company, the percentage will vary. As for the statement that people have to be living a sheltered life, or be 5 years old to not know about computers being made from child labor in countries outside of the West, you're underestimating how common this is. And it's not because they're sheltered, nor because they're 5 years old. Most people just don't do research, nor is it as well known of a fact as you think it is in the West.
And I love how you just say it's about the problem being on the surface versus being hidden, when literally the only way to see the Starfield pronoun shit as a problem is if you're actively looking for it to be a problem.
I don't see the pronouns shit as a problem. It's not a big deal to me. It's stupid, but not a big deal. I simply had an issue with his retarded argument that he parroted from a known communist by the name of Wash.
He says it must arguably been one of the best years for video games since 2017, but sure, modern gaming is just so bad.
He's not referring to the sales of the gaming industry, he's talking about the quality of games as a result of all of these problems popping up.
That was quite literally what Big Country was talking about. That was why he showed that image of all the really good games that released this year, which admittedly I think Jedi Survivor is being a bit generous considering all the bugs and performance issues it had at launch, but the rest of them, absolutely, they were good games.
I can't tell if this is still manning or not, but if it's not the sales he's talking about, then it would be even more brain dead of a position to take, since games in the AAA industry is only getting worse year by year with how much monetization is happening. The only thing that gets better each year when it comes to gaming in the AAA space is how much sales is happening. Take Street Fighter 6 as an example. That game came out this year, and it's already confirmed to have microtransaction and pay to win in it. Oh, did I forget to mention that Battle Pass is also gonna be a thing in the game too? Want another example of a game that came out this year that's dog shit? Payday 3. In that game, the devs already mentioned plans on introducing microtransaction. Meanwhile, matchmaking doesn't even work properly, and you have to be online even on solo. Overwatch 2 also came out this year, and is even greedier than Overwatch 1's microtransaction is, believe it or not. And Overwatch 2 is a massive step down from the previous game, the prequel, Overwatch 1, and is without a doubt the dog shit as well.
And I can literally add a few more. How about Metroid Prime Remastered? How about Hyperspace 2? How about Trepang 2? How about the Quake 2 re-release? How about Forza Motorsport 8? How about Hogwarts Legacy? How about Counter-Strike 2? How about BattleBit Remastered? How about Company of Heroes 3? And before this year is out, we're also supposed to get Spider-Man 2 and Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which both of those look like they'll be good games.
It's funny that Big Country included Resident Evil 4 remake in a list of the best games when it contains tons of greed. In before Thunderstruck posts the single player card as an excuse for this pay to win / pay to progress bullshit. Shit. I should have added Gish Gallop to my bingo. You're now Gish Galloping to try to make overwhelming amount of points to respond to at once in hopes of me not refuting some of them. This is a common debate tactic that disingenuous people use to avoid having all of their points refuted. Most of these games that you mentioned I haven't played. Some of them I haven't even heard of. Trepang 2 I agree with. That game is fucking awesome, but Counter-Strike 2? Whatever you smoked prior to you saying that, I want some of that. It seems like it hits pretty hard.
I'm hitting my DMT cart right now. Oh no, nigga, I'm hitting it not enough to break through though. Oh my god. Oh my god, nigga.
Jokes aside, Counter-Strike 2 is another soulless game with greed, not to mention how buggy the state of the game is when it came out of beta. You heard that correctly, the game came out of beta. just as buggy when it was in beta, and people are forced to use it over CSGO despite its buggy state. If you wanted to play CSGO instead, I'm pretty sure you would have to downgrade the game for that, which is an unnecessarily tedious process. Dog, you did not just say hi, man. This is coming from the same guy that circle jerks all day the moment his favorite fanboy PNG tuber gets criticized, like a white knight coming to protect his female Twitch streamer queen from criticism. God, you're down bad and pathetic.
It wouldn't be a G-Coops video if he wasn't accusing somebody of being in an echo chamber. You know, never mind all the times that we criticize each other or make fun of each other's takes when in voice chats on Discord. Nope, we are totally just in a fucking echo chamber.
Yeah, you keep telling yourself that. Whatever makes you sleep better at night.
Soy Country is the same guy that went on to lie about how I said racy things to a VTuber that I stream sniped, and when I called him out for the blatant lie and how it was the VTuber that called me those things, he doubles down. He doubles down on his echo chamber on his Discord server by trying to justify it. How does he try to justify it, you may ask? He claims I was spreading lies about Nair, which first of all, I didn't spread lies about Nair since I backed up my claims with sources.
Now, I don't really know what happened with the whole VTuber shit, but yes, you were absolutely spreading lies about Nair. The source that you gave was an ambiguous, non-sexual joke he made towards Kim Jong-un, and you tried to use that to say that he was a fucking groomer.
The fucking damage control is so desperate and pathetic. When he have made flirtatious comments towards Josh in 2 instances, one taking place in Discord, which was without a doubt a sexual implication, and one taking place in a YouTube community post comment section. I mean, dude, it's indefensible.
Not to mention lying on a bunch of other small shit, for example.
That, as well as how the game size can get gigantic when the developers milk it to no end, as well as performance issues.
I already said my piece on the file size and performance issues, aka a complete fucking non-issue. But I also want to point out the fact that as evidence, he's using a screenshot of Activision reducing the file size of Modern Warfare 2019.
The article is misleading by claiming that the game's file size is gonna get reduced, either because the devs lied about a promise, or the journalist fucked up and didn't update on the article. But it is correct in that it has triple digits in gigabytes, which was the whole point of me showing it to you guys. I brought this up to support my argument that the game has triple digits in gigabytes. A game, mind you, that has tons of cosmetics. If you took a look at the comment section of this article, you would have known this, but all you did was do the bare minimum of reading the headline, the title, and call it a day. Do your research for once, please. The first step to improvement is to educate yourself. If you don't trust the comment section telling you that it has triple digits, then there's the Steam store saying it in the screenshot. You're welcome.
If we go by that logic, that same logic, then how does that make him any better than how he does the same fucking thing that he claims I did to Nair?
Because your claims are baseless, his are not.
My claim about Nair is baseless, and his claim about the VTuber thing is not baseless? Hold on. First of all, it's not the opposite day today. Secondly, you just said that you didn't know anything about the VTuber claim Big Country was making about me a moment ago. But now all of a sudden, you're taking a big stance and taking his word at face value. Oh, you're really gonna sit there and claim that his claim isn't baseless? Something you have no idea about? See, this is why I criticize you for circle jerking. Just because you give a little bit of banter to each other inside your own VC does not disqualify the fact that you're living and breathing inside an echo chamber beehive.
Again, by that logic, he's fighting fire with fire. Funnily enough, this is what I called out Krillix for doing towards Safe. Someone who's inside the same beehive group that Soy Country is from. Funny how history repeats itself, right?
Now, at first, I was confused as to what the hell G-Coops was talking about, but luckily, Krillix beat me to the punch by asking him in the comments section, and he linked a community post that Krillix made regarding the whole Saith situation when Saith got doxed, saying that it's hypocritical for Saith to be bitching and moaning about being doxed when he himself doxed Road Breach and attempted to dox Krillix, even though Krillix is not the one that doxed him in the first place. In fact, it was a third party known as UTTP. But considering that it was literally safe doxing people in the first place, and then he got doxed as a result of that, yeah, he had it fucking coming to him.
I'm guessing this is what you, Thunderstruck, was referring to earlier. I'm very certain you confused me for Saith earlier. Wouldn't be the first time that someone from Nier's Discord server has done that. Anyways, Krillix is still spreading around the docs nonetheless. Even if he didn't initially do the doxing, he's still spreading it around. So it doesn't make it much better. Don't excuse this shit. Listen, if you don't want to call out your friends on something like this because it makes you feel uncomfortable, then okay, so be it. But stop justifying this type of behavior, you stupid fuck. You didn't see me defend Saith for doxing. In fact, I called him out for it in my community post. So cut this bullshit team sports tomfoolery and grow a fucking spine. Not all that surprising considering how you and Big Country are the same people that advocate for people getting doxed for something as trivial as a Discord raid.
Far from the only contradiction he have done. If you look at this screenshot, you can see how badly he contradicts himself on Discord. As badly as psychoanalytic therapy, some other fuck buddy of his that is in the same
Oh great, now this dumbass is doing the same thing that fucking Jim Sterling does by throwing shit on screen and not actually reading it. The first is just Big Country explaining that the Left 4 Dead community has also had to deal with your shit as well, and that he doesn't want to give you any more attention by making a video on you. Meanwhile, Psychonaut Therapy is just talking about you and Vincent Martin on Discord, which this exchange happened 3 fucking months ago. Literally, none of this is contradictory.
Listen, I get that you're a bit slow, but please try to keep up. Big Country as well as Psychonaut Therapy both said prior to the messages in these 2 screenshots that they are done giving me attention. But here they are, doing exactly the opposite of that. Giving attention to me by bringing up the name, by bringing up my name. This is what I was talking about regarding contradictions. The fact that you don't see this speaks to your stupidity, so quit projecting.
Anyways, that's all folks.
Oh, thank God we can finally stop watching this piece of fucking shit.
I must have struck a nerve on this one. This guy's spazzing the fuck out so much. This is his way of shielding Big Country from valid criticism by calling me a piece of shit. And condoning doxing. Holy shit. I wanted to go over both of the video responses he did on me, but this video is long enough as it is because of how long his video response is. So perhaps another day. Before I end my video though, drum roll please. Bingo! Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, and if you have any ideas for the next video, let me know in the comments, and yeah, see you guys. Bye.